Hey, it's Scott from SanMarcosMakes. Today we are making Claypot chicken. So I was looking for a better way to make chicken and rice, and I stumbled upon this Chinese, Hong Kong, Thailand, a lot of countries make a version of this chicken and rice or Claypot chicken. And don't worry, you definitely don't need a clay pot. I'm not even gonna use a clay pot. There will be some ingredients that you may have to go find to look. We'll try to talk about substitutes, but this is an amazing dish that you will want to make. Let's see how we do it. All right, so let's talk ingredients, or at least the ones that you may have to go look for that you may not have in your pantry. So first we're gonna look, and I may butcher some of these names, but this is Shaoxing rice cooking wine. If you can't find this, it's a sweeter cooking wine. So you could definitely use apple juice. You could use like a cooking sherry, something like that. But it's like a sweet cooking wine. Very common. So if you're doing a lot of Asian style cooking, good ingredient to find. One of my new favorites. So this cheong sauce, but this is black or dark soy sauce. So the traditional that you've had in most American kitchens, that is a light soy sauce, which we're going to use in this recipe. This one's very special. This is a sweet soy sauce. You're going to use very, very little of this. This one, my local store didn't have. I went to a local store in San Marcos that is an Asian market, and they did carry it, and blows my mind how this tastes. It's a sweet sauce. Substitute, you could definitely use a teriyaki, a hoisin, really, really good sauce. I cannot wait to use this more. And then one I just honestly didn't even think I was going to find, and it just happened to be at my local grocery store at HEB, shiitake dried mushrooms. You could definitely use fresh, but I'm hearing in these recipes, actually dried gets better because you can even use some of the juice after you rehydrate these mushrooms. So I'm really looking forward. I've never got to use these dried mushrooms before, so looking forward to it. Everything else is going to be easier to find. Down in the comments, not down in the description, you'll find all the measurements for this recipe. But let's make it. All right, so first we're going to work kind of on our marinade. Now, this can marinate for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 4 hours, whatever you want to do, however much time you got. I have about 2 pounds of chicken thighs. I'm a thigh guy, got to have my dark meat. All right, so we're gonna take 4 tablespoons of soy sauce in this. We're gonna pour that in. We're also gonna take the dark or the sweet soy sauce. See how much thicker this is? Oh, so good, so good, so good. We're also gonna take some sesame oil. Be very careful, very powerful stuff there. So you just need very, very little bit. And then lastly, a couple teaspoons of cornstarch. All right, we'll get all that in there. And then, of course, you can use a spoon or you can use your hand. Like I'm gonna do, you can always wash your hands. And you just wanna get it in there to let it marinate. If you're gonna leave it more than 15, 20 minutes, get it in the refrigerator. But get this, oh, it smells so good. So we have some warm water. It doesn't have to be boiling, just warm water, hottest you can get it out of your tap. And we are going to get these mushrooms in there and start hydrating. So 15, 20 minutes is all you're gonna need in there. I want anywhere from like 6 to 9 mushrooms. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, what the heck. Let's just use the whole package. And we'll get them in there and we'll start soaking. All right, so these mushrooms have been setting about 20 minutes. So the stem on these mushrooms are a little tough. So you can do two things. If they'll come off, which mine are not, what I think is probably easiest is just to cut them off. And then you're just gonna make strips in these and put them over to the side. Don't get rid of your water yet. or at least a cup, half cup, because that is some flavor water. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these cut up, and we'll move on to the next step. One ingredient that I forgot to talk about, inside in the refrigerator, is these Chinese sausages. I am not super familiar with them, but I know this is what you're looking for. The lap cheong. I know I'm butchering that. I apologize. But Chinese sausages. They seem to be pretty easy. I did not find this in the grocery store, but any Asian market, you're going to be able to find it. So they kind of look like this, but look at the consistency. I want to almost say it kind of looks like, I know it cannot taste like it, but like a Slim Jim or something, pepperoni. I don't know. I'm really kind of curious. The taste, it definitely smells smoky, but we're going to get these in the pan. But now, if you cannot find this, I just leave it out. I don't think it's going to add too much to it, but let's get it in the pan. Take the oil, take some hot oil in a pan, just a couple tablespoons, and I'm already heating the pan. Then you're going to take your Chinese sausage, get that in. We're going to saute it for about a minute. All right, after that's gone about a minute, you got a little bit of color. We want to add in our chicken thighs. You could definitely do this in batches if you wanted. I'm just getting it all in there. Kind of stir fry it. All right, you want to saute this for 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You're not after cooking it, you are after just getting some color, and then we'll deglaze the pan. So just continue stirring. All right, so after you've got plenty of color on the chicken, we want to add the garlic in. So that is 3 cloves. They were really large cloves, so almost 6. But if you like a lot of garlic, put a lot of garlic in. We're going to put garlic, about 2 tablespoons of grated ginger. Get that in there. And then we're going to cook this for about a minute. Stir fry this. All right, next thing we want to do is add our chopped up dried mushrooms. We're gonna toss those in. Saute them just for a few seconds. By then you should have already started developing those brown bits that fawn, and we're gonna deglaze the pan. So you can kind of push things to the side, or just get the Shaoxing wine in there, cooking wine, applesauce, sherry wine, cooking wine, whatever. That is what we're going to use to just deglaze the pan. I'm even on mine, how some of the sides have some of the brown bits. I'm going to try to get that up there. But we'll just cook this for a few more minutes. All right, before we put the rice in, we want to put a little bit of white pepper. And we want to put 2 cups of rice. One of the rare times we don't wash the rice. You want the liquid to soak up in that rice, and that's why you don't want to wash it here. But give that a good stir before we get our liquids in. All right, so after you've got the rice in there, give it one good stir. We want to add about a cup of the mushroom water. And we want to add about 2 cups of chicken stock. And we want to give that a good stir. We want to bring this to a nice little simmer. Kind of think about how you would do rice. So bring it up to a nice simmer. Then we're going to get the lid on it, and we're going to reduce to low. But let's get it up to, it's pretty much there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lid on. And we're going to reduce temperature to low. So you're going to keep the lid on for approximately 30 minutes, depending on what type of rice that you used. I use jasmine, but if you're using basmati or long grain, think about how long that rice takes to cook. But jasmine takes about 30 minutes at this temp. So that's what we're going to use, 30 minutes. But keep an eye on it, and then we'll almost be ready to eat. All right, when you're close to being done, I'm gonna add just a little bit of Bok Choy, some chopped up Bok Choy. And I'm just gonna kind of stir it around. This doesn't need to cook a long time. So just that last few minutes. We'll stir it in, put the lid on, and cook for the final 5 minutes. One last thing before we open this dish up. If you're not a subscriber, please help me grow this channel. Hit the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed it, and definitely leave me a comment if you've ever made one of these or plan to make it. All right, let's open it up. Beautiful color. The green looks really good there. The chicken, that sausage. All right, let's plate this up in a bowl. That's what we're looking at. Now, I would have some extra sesame oil, maybe some regular soy sauce, and definitely some of this dark soy sauce. You're gonna have to taste it, see what yours needs. I'm gonna taste mine without putting anything in it yet, but then we may wanna add some stuff, all to your liking. But let's see, I'm gonna first try just the rice. It's actually really mild right now, so I like it. I think I'm in love with this new dark soy sauce. So I'm gonna put just a couple drops in it, mix it around, and I think this is exactly where I'm gonna like it. All right, let's go in for it. Oh, it's so good. Flavor, it nailed it. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of this recipe. And always remember, beans don't go in chili, okra don't go in gumbo, but it is perfectly acceptable to put pineapple on pizza. Cheers.